and he's ready to go. Noodle on his left, Jess on his right. Hey, hold up, don't start a fight. He's got you covered with all the sports. Don't fret, he's wearing shorts. It's time for Waking Jake in the morning, Waking Jake at night. Jake sucks.
Whew. Good morning, Bakers. What is going on? Welcome to Wake and Jake. I'm Wake. He's Jake. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a huge sports weekend. One of the bigger sneaky sports weekends of the year. March Madness never disappoints. I mean, that Duke-Michigan State game last night, if you tuned into that, was great. St. Peter's. We're going to talk about all of that, catch you up. Sweet 16 is set. Baseball. Caliente en los calles. Baseball, we've kind of done the damn thing. The big free agents are signed. I think if you look at Fangraph's free agent page where they kind of have them listed what they expected money-wise, pretty much that whole first page is done. Conforto's there. That guy can be really good. Couple loose pitchers, but the free agency part is almost done. We'll see if there's any more big trades. It feels like the biggest ones have happened. I'm sure we're going to get one or two more things. The A's still have a couple pitchers that they can move on, and there's got to be a high demand for those guys. Wonder what the asking price is. We will get into it. Some tales from Arizona trip, the JOMBOY Media House. Thank you guys for tuning in to everything that we've already posted and for everything that we will be posting for the next 3 months. We recorded so much content out there. Maybe we'll tell some fun stories from there. And I wrapped up the quick 7-day trip that ended every night with some drinks and some video games and some other legal things. By going to Vegas for the weekend. My buddy Rob's bachelor party. We had a good time. Only placed 3 bets, all 3 winners. How about that? Yeah. Black roulette bet, hit, friends bet, everyone on it. A UCLA and Vegas Knights parlay to win, done. And then the St. Peter's over, hit by a half point. So you'd say I'm hot in the streets. BBD, how are you doing? Last we checked in you had some tooth stuff going on. You still have some tooth stuff going on. What's up, dude?
Yeah, big procedure tomorrow. More stuff Thursday. So it's going to be a weird week for me. And weekend was good. I was in St. Louis.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow, how'd that go?
Went well. Visited the girlfriend's family.
First time meeting them.
First time meeting them. I had done a couple half FaceTimes with her mom, but that was first time meeting in person. So it went well. She sent me a very nice message last night saying it was nice to have me and I was a good guest.
That's huge.
That's
huge. That is huge. Stoked for you. Stoked for love. Did we die, BBD?
I think we literally just died.
Okay, how about that? Keep recording and posting?
Yep.
Okay. Well, Bummer Rosa Ranch. We will keep it going. Damn.
They did a thing where it dies for a second, and every other time it's happened on this computer, it's back within 10 seconds. It gets 30 seconds. It's weird, but
so just keep going.
Yeah, just keep going.
Okay. Well, Bummer just popped out the chat. Just went to go talk to the chat, and it got killed. So we'll roll it. Let's talk some baseball quick. Hopefully we'll keep this around 45. We're a little backed up. We're back in the studio. We are making changes to the studio. Good things only. We got some new lights. Some people are commenting on my beautiful olive skin. Thank you. Baseball, BBD. I mean, I think we run hard, we run fast. We missed Thursday episode last week. Pure chaos in Arizona between baseball, everything we're doing in this. So sorry to everyone. Sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. Actually, let's get trades out of the way because there's less of those so we can just bang them out quick. We'll go reverse Cron Pod. Luke Voigt got traded to the Padres for a prospect. Happy for San Diego. You'd be surprised looking at San Diego's lineup just because we have that Slam Diego, Tatis, all those guys. Lineup was a little thinner than you thought. Like Tommy Pham, still currently a free agent. What is Hosmer anymore? I know they still kind of want to get off of him and his money. Really good for the San Diego Padres. Look at Luke Voigt's hitting stats. They've been there. Had a lot of good interactions with Padres fans that are like, what's the deal? And, going back to last Yankee season, we wanted Luke Voigt playing more. Like the Yankees could have. They had a lineup where they played Judge in center. They could have played Gallo in center. They never have. They like Judge in center. So we'll see what that's all about. Luke Voigt kind of got benched for no reason when he was one of the few guys hitting towards the end of the year. Luke Voigt will hit. The question is health, and the defense was just never average on his good days.
Is never going to be plus.
Average on his good days. So, for the Padres, they get that guy to DH and make $6 million or whatever, and you could get a guy that could put up a really big season for you. Love it for the Padres. Yankees, they got kind of a legitimate prospect for him. Kid throws over a hunch. Justin Lange? Do we know if we pronounce the E?
I lean Lang, but that's just my guess situation.
We'll find out in a few years. Good for the Padres. Yankee fans were kind of hoping that Luke Voigt was going to turn into a catcher or pitcher or something else. I personally, as a Yankees fan, am hoping that the prospect capital of Justin Lange, whether it's him or somebody else, that can be what goes over to Oakland or goes over to Cincinnati or Arizona, or we'll see. Or that could be it for the Yanks. And buckle up. Going to be a lot of eyes in New York. We had a funny one that didn't make a lot of sense at the time. Mike Minor for Amir Garrett. Okay. We saw Whit Merrifield. He came through the Arizona house. Cool guy. Brady Singer. And I asked him, I was like, how's camp? Dude, having a good time? He's like, yeah, camp's good. We like the squad. We got a lot of young guys. He said, he's like, we could really use like one more guy in the pen that's like a veteran that'll be kind of reliable. So Amir Garrett also came by the Arizona house. Awesome dude. Hey, we'll see. We'll see. Every year I feel like I drink a little bit of Royals Kool-Aid, and I don't know if that's going to burn me this year. They've just got a lot of young pitching that if it works,
cool.
There's something there. Something there. What's going on, Beebs?
Not much. I'm going to see if I can start a new stream just to have it exist.
Double stream?
Yeah, and I'll post a full. I don't know.
Okay. I'll keep going.
Keep going.
So, again, reverse Cron Pod right now. Matt Chapman to the A's for 4 prospects. Man, Toronto Blue Jays are a wagon. We'll see what those prospects turn into. None of those guys were major guys in my book. I think a couple of them are like show ready, so we'll see what happens for Oakland. But, yeah, almost gives me, I don't want to say Garrett Cole vibes, but remember when Pittsburgh traded to Houston for 4 guys that were all kind of border major league guys, but they were bodies to use. I'm getting that a little bit, which again, for what Matt Chapman can mean to that team as a leader, as a stud defensive third baseman, all-time defensive third baseman. Never mind if he hits. Trevor Plouffe is on the record, and sure, it's his guy. We'll see. But he says when Matt Chapman has his best offensive season, which he doesn't believe he's had yet, that he's going to win MVP. That's how good he is defensively. So, Toronto and what they've done this offseason, insanity. Matt Olson is in Atlanta. Again, insane. Not only the Freddie Freeman aspect of it, but the Matt Olson aspect of it. I love Matt Olson. They get some real prospects. Christian Pache. We remember that guy from what the past couple Braves run, and just young, talented center fielder. Shea Langeliers is a very real catching prospect. They get a couple young pitchers in it too. Interested to see where Oakland lands on that one. I love Matt Olson. I think there's a pretty good argument that he outplayed Freddy last year. He's a couple years younger. He's a Georgia guy. The question would just be, you could have just paid Freddy and you didn't have to give up those prospects. And then where could you use those prospects elsewhere to help improve the team? I don't know. There sounds like there's some funny business there. Some of Freddy's quotes were a little different. I don't know exactly what happened there, but they're moving on to Matt Olson. Freddy, we'll get to the free agents. Seattle gets Winker and Suarez, dude. Seattle is having an offseason themselves. My God, man. My God. And what did they give up? Jake Fraley, Justin Dunn, and Brandon Williamson? Go look at Jesse Winker's numbers. He's off the map. That's the only way I can describe it. And hey, if they can somehow tap into Eugenio Suarez, look out. Look out for Seattle. Fast forwarding back even further, the Twins got Sonny Gray and nobody really reacted. Good for them.
Said that like before, right before the Gary trade and everything. Right?
Sonny Gray, Gio Urshela, Gary Sanchez, they're all Minnesota Twins now. With Josh Donaldson and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa coming to the Yankees. Ben Rortvedt is currently a candidate to be a starting catcher for the New York Yankees.
Well,
we will see. Chris Bassett's a Met. Mitch Garver went to Texas. I think that's like all the trades that have happened. Man. And I really hope the Yankees make one. Go get Oakland, baby. Mania Murphy. Some Laureano. Why not? Fire me up. BBD, probably the bigger story around baseball. All of the signings. Trevor Story is a Red Sox. I changed my Twitter name. My last name's Storielli, so there was some wordplay there. But Trevor Story, I think he's really good. I think he is really good. I'm basically a reverse cause effect guy. If you don't know what that means or any of that, I think guys get hurt more by being in Colorado Rocky than getting boosted. There's some wiggle there, but look into it. Like there's science and traveling and altitude, and we interviewed Trevor Story. He talked about it. It's a very real thing. The guy is a fitness dude. He like sent over his stats when we interviewed him. He had like running back stats. He's like 4.48 40. Like beast. I think Trevor Story is going to be really good for the Boston Red Sox. They had been quiet this offseason, and now all of a sudden they've had a great offseason pretty much. Trevor Story makes that lineup so dangerous. That infield is tough. Boston is going to be a problem with pretty much the rest of the AL East, man. The rest of the AL East. Go Red Sox. Go Red Sox. Let's see, what other big signings do we have? Jorge Solaire to the Marlins. Good. 3-year deal. He's got some pop. They need some pop. Miggy Rojas, I think, actually had that in our Chris Rose rotation free agency draft. Big Cuban guy, Miami. Kind of makes sense to me. I like it. Be good, Jorge Solaire. Jeter left them. That sucks, Miami. Be a little better. The other one that shocked the world, Carlos Correa to the Twins for 3 years with opt-outs every step of the way. Minnesota, hey, you're kind of taking a swing. You really retooled that team. Gary Sanchez, Carlos Correa. You know, that lineup still speaks to you. You wonder how much they can pitch. They brought in Sonny. You wonder what that division looks like. If you're the Detroit Tigers, you got to be punch and air a little bit. You kind of thought the Twins were going to fade out. They're going for it. And by the way, I sneaky like it for Correa. He's getting paid real money. Jakey sniff test. I said Correa's free agency felt a little off from the start with everything else that's going on. And now, this dude, if he goes nut job this year, go to free agency again. Do it right. Go wherever you want. If Carlos Correa gets hurt this year, has a bad year, he's back. He's getting paid again. He could have 2 bad years, stay in Minnesota. If that third year is good and he hits free agency, he can get paid again.
He'll be 30.
Obviously not what Correa wanted. I think that's an obvious statement. Everyone thinks he wanted the 10-year, $300 million mega deal that Seager got, Simeon got. I think Carlos is going to end up in a fine spot. I think this can work out really well for Carlos Correa. But I always talk about this, how messed up the timing of free agency is. If you hit timing a year earlier, if James Paxton had hit free agency a year earlier, he would have got $100 million. Instead, he got hurt again, and he's fighting. Every year, he's fighting for a contract. Carlos Correa, with that opt-out contract, has set himself up for success, whether it's this year, next year, or 3 years. He basically just has to have one good season in the next 3 years, and he will get paid again. And hey, who knows? That can line him up for the perfect situation. Maybe Minnesota turns out to be a good marriage for him. Even if it doesn't, he's set up all right. Obviously, not what he wanted. Still a win for the situation at hand to get into camp, to get in with a team that could be fun. I mean, could he also be a trade piece if Minnesota eats shit this year? Why not? He's got opt-outs. He's locked in for that. Not the $300 million. $100 million for 3 years, though, ain't bad. With your opt-outs to land whatever you want in the future. Minnesota. Damn it. Kenley Jansen goes to Atlanta. What was that, 1 year, 15?
Yeah, something in that neighborhood.
The Atlanta Braves, who've kind of had this survival bullpen the last couple years, like they haven't been great, and then they hit the playoffs and they've been lights out. Kenley Jansen is still gross. It looks different than it used to. He still mows people down. I feel like that signing got swept under the rug a little bit. That could be really big for the Braves. Another arm out there. Or, let's be completely honest, we could look back and be like, that was bizarre. That was weird. Kenley went to the Braves for a year. Never felt right. Just never felt right. But Braves put a little money into the bullpen. Defending champs. Let's see it. Big Mike Pineda signed with the Tigers. I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Damn.
Sneaky.
Damn. That's a guy that could give you some innings. Some quality innings.
It's a role they could really use.
Good for Detroit. So him and Tyler Anderson. Tyler Anderson signed with the Dodgers. Tyler Anderson was basically a new age quality start. A lot of 5 innings, like 2 earned run type performances last year. He gets a little Dodgers pixie dust. That could be a really strong signing for him. Those are 2 guys, Pineda or Tyler Anderson, that if they had ended up on the Yankees this year, I would have been pretty excited. I would have been pretty juiced up. Good for both of those guys. Nick Castellanos goes to the Phillies, 5 years. That dude mauls. He's going to a hitting park, and he will be joined by some friends. Bryce Harper. Heard of him. Kyle Schwarber. Heard of him. JT Realmuto. Rhys Hoskins. The top half of that lineup is going to be mean and just brutal for pitchers to get through. Absolutely brutal, especially home games in Philly. The NL East is insane. And the Phillies still have the top of that rotation. They've made some bullpen moves. I still don't know what to do with the NL East. I have no idea what to do with the NL East. Good for the Phillies, who I mentioned, they also signed Schwarber. They're stacked. They're a stacked offensive team. Texas Rangers signed Backyard Brad. He's our friend, kind of. He's our friend through Trevor. Actually, it could be interesting. He hasn't gotten a lot of years with a ton of at-bats. He just always kind of hits. Go nuts down there, young man. Go nuts.
I feel like the years he got a lot of run were the years they were also trying to have him be a shortstop, and that's a well-documented tough thing to balance.
Eddie Rosario, back to the Braves. Good for him, 2-year contract. Went nuts in the playoffs. I've been an Eddie Rosario guy for a while. I think he was one of the... I genuinely think he was one of the reasons that the Twins took a dip. Eddie Rosario was in the middle of that lineup for many years, giving quality at-bats. Quality at-bats. I know he's not the highest on-base guy. Guess what? He's a hitter. He's a hitter. He showed it in the postseason to the umpteenth degree. As that guy gets more comfortable in his role, doing his thing, I'm an Eddie Rosario guy. Eddie Rosarios are very important in baseball, and I think total on-base guys and how much they've been valued, I think a guy like Eddie Rosario is the other balancing side of that because he can hit. He can hit. Seiya Suzuki is a Cub. Second biggest contract for a Japanese baseball player ever. Who is he? I'm excited to find out. I will say this. Adjusting to the major leagues and everything I've heard about Wrigley, let's temper the early expectations. Ian Happ, I forget what his quote was, BBD. Do you remember? Like, he wants his OPS to be, like, in the 7s by the end of April after, like, spring in Wrigley. He said it's brutal.
Yeah.
He said it's brutal, so let's have some patience with Seiya.
There's a reason it's a fairly lengthy contract.
Right, 5 years.
time
Interested to see what he is defensively, because there was all this center field stuff. Can he actually do that? If he can, it's already almost a valuable signing. Or if he lands somewhere else and he can actually hit.
If he's a plus defender in the corners, cool.
Really interested to see. And let's be honest, nobody knows. There's not a direct formula for what translates to the major league level. I'll just say this. 5 years, 85, that is real money. That is real money for Seiya Suzuki. Good for him. And let's hope he is a stud in Chicago. More international talent. Root for Seiya Suzuki. Chris Bryant to the Rockies. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll give both sides real quick. I think we all know where we think the answer lies. What are we doing, Rockies? You know, you had Arenado under contract. You could have had Story. You give this money to Chris Bryant. The Rockies were sneaky, not awful last year. What does any of it mean? Nothing. I mean, it just seems like it's pure, we got a new star, come to some Rockies games. I just don't know. I hope the Rockies have a little secret sauce. I have a soft spot for Colorado. I love that stadium. The Rockies were good as of a couple years ago, and now it seems everything's changed, and then they give big money for Chris Bryant. We'll see. Chris Bryant's good. Maybe he's lights out in Colorado. I don't know. I think everyone was rooting for Chris Bryant to go somewhere else, for being honest.
They're still paying for Arenado to be on the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Like, Cardinals, it's a free
Just
player.
Nothing about it feels right. Chris Bryant's probably on
happy
another.
For him.
He's probably on another team in 2 years. I hope he just George Hilled everyone. He got the most money. He'll get traded and go somewhere else.
That's essentially what happened to Arenado. Like, what, 2 years into that extension?
Like, sorry,
Probably
Rocks.
Same thing.
I love the Rocks. I'm looking forward to working in that front office, but
For Chris Bryant, he obviously gets the bag, and he's won a World Series already, and he's done
awesome.
kind of all he can individually. So good for you. Go live in Denver a couple years, and then they'll trade you somewhere where it'll actually be like fun to play. Denver's cool.
Denver's cool. Denver's tight. Weed is tight. Zach Greinke signs with the Royals. That's just fun. Goes back to the Royals. The old pictures of him are funny. Yeah.
got his old number back.
Royals, bro. I haven't done my full deep dive on the AL Central yet. You're going to be seeing some of that on Talking Baseball soon. I feel like I'm going to end up drinking Royals Kool-Aid, and I'm a little worried about it. I'm just a little worried about it. I mean, one of the big ones, Freddie Freeman signs with the Dodgers. That was rumored, and it seemed like it was going to happen after the Matt Olson stuff. The Dodgers are on a different level. Go look at that lineup. Mookie, Freddy, Muncy, Will Smith, Gavin Lux, Trey Turner, Justin Turner. Cody Bellinger's like a bonus piece for them. A.J. Pollock has been a bonus piece for them. That team is disgusting. That team is disgusting.
I was reading an article about how it was one of my nerd blogs, and they were talking about Freddie Freeman signing obviously blocks more guys. Muncy's gonna have to play some second. Lux isn't gonna have his breakout year. I guess they're gonna have to just trade him for Luis Castillo or something.
Yeah. Damn it. We're gonna have to move him to upgrade somewhere else. Dodgers fans, I hope you're enjoying it. Kershaw's back. What else do we got here? I mentioned Schwarber. He's awesome. I think he's going to rake. Jock Peterson signed with the Giants. Big pivot year for him, man. Big pivot year for Jock. He got hot in the playoffs, and he got cold in the playoffs. It's kind of who is he? If he has a big year with the Giants, Jock could go get him a nice 2-3 year contract somewhere. He used to really crush righties. I think he was okay versus lefties last year. This is a big pivot year for Jock. He's 30, going over to a team that had a lot of success last year. Another guy that's fun to root for. I mean, remember the Pearls? How nuts was all that? Colin Micropenis McHugh, 2-year deal with Atlanta. He was lights out last year. Colin McHugh and Kenley Jansen added to that bullpen. Watch out. Andrew McCutchen, a Brewer. Anthony Rizzo's a Yankee. Trying to think what else. Yusei Kikuchi's in Toronto. That team, man. Joe Kelly's a White Sox. Greg Bird. Okay. We may have gone too deep. Jake Diekman's a Red Sox. I've definitely missed a couple. Ian Kennedy back to the Snakes. All of that being said, we're going to be talking about a ton of this on Talking Baseball. Clayton Kershaw's back. But yeah, free agency's kind of done, people.
Yeah, it's Conforto by far the biggest fish left, I think.
And he's kind of a wild card. Didn't have a good year last year, found it towards the end. There was some COVID stuff in there. I get all of that. I think he turned down $100 million extension from the Mets. I think that article was out there. He's really the only impact guy. Johnny Cueto, Tommy Pham, Jay Happ, it's Rafael Dolis, Stephen Vogt, Sergio Romo still tricking him. Yeah, if your team still has holes, free agency's basically done. And yeah, I think Oakland still wants to do one or two more. My Snakes seem oddly comfortable with their team. They want to feel it out more. And I think if they got to trade at the deadline, they're willing to do that. Nats, I feel like it's kind of the same. They're kind of trying to show Juan Soto a ton of respect. They brought in Nelson Cruz. They don't want to sell right away, but they've got to be willing to. That NL East is brutal.
Feels like they'll be kind of the same as they were last year, showcase some vets, and if you flip them.
Baseball, especially this time of year, is a sport of hope, and are our young guys going to pan out? There's almost no chance that the Nats can be something.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to be a play for the Soto extension probably next offseason, because we know they tried to start those talks this year. So next year, they're hopefully all in. They got to show him that they're committed to trying for him. And then Nelson Cruz stuff. A lot of quotes about them thinking he can influence the younger guys too, which he's been known to do.
I mean, the bullpen just seems light.
It's a weird group.
The rotation.
Can Strasburg exist?
Rotation feels light. The lineup feels light. But I think, like, most importantly, I don't think they're trading now. So
they have enough, like, young. They have a decent group of young guys that are going to come up this year, and they're going to let them just play.
Like, if your team has needs, there's really only a couple spots.
Some team will fail to meet expectations, like the Twins last year ended up being a bit.
Sure,
it wasn't a crazy fire sale.
But I mean,
things.
think about it. You're talking 2 months.
Yeah,
like a team doesn't punt until like at least 2 months in. So we're sitting here as Yankees fans. I think there's a couple positions that we thought might end up a little differently. Barring something crazy trade wise, it's not going to happen yet. Man, looking at the Marlins roster, we'll see what happens to them. The Rockies just made a signing. You still got a chance to pillage Oakland. That's about it. So your team, however you like, they're almost set. Talking baseball, we got to cover a lot of this. We're also, a little bit of a teaser. We'll see. TPPs might be a little different this year. It's a little bit of a time crunch. We're figuring all that out. You guys know us by now. There will be a ton of content to be consumed in the next couple of weeks. Anything else baseball on the mind, BBD?
Probably get more into it in Talking Yanks tomorrow, but Craig getting the exact contract. I've been saying to everybody around the office and in my life all offseason to give him her story. That did hurt.
Yeah.
Especially
after they trade dumped with the Yankees.
What they did. And, like, the Yankees had room for that, because if IKF would be the perfect super util. Plays everywhere is fast.
Yeah, and it just feels like...
And Story was open to something like that.
Even if Anthony Volpe is the truth, which he could be. I hope the kid's gross. I hope the kid's like my all-time favorite player.
It won't be. It was never going to be this
You
year.
still could have made it work.
Yeah.
Like, there would have been playing time to be grabbed between injuries, between different positions and figuring it out as a young kid. We'll see. Maybe IKF's gross. Holds him off for the whole year. Who knows?
Certainly feels like the Yankees think he has another gear on the offensive end.
Good.
They think they can do what they did with Gio and Tauchman and
swing
whoever
harder.
Else. They haven't done that with anybody since those guys, but
that used to be the secret. Swing harder. That's baseball for now. We'll be catching up with you more in a little bit. Until that little bit, let's do a little March Madness. March Madness, incredible. I feel like any game I got to tune in to watch was fantastic. I was in Vegas for a lot of this. Kind of a fun place to be for this. One of Vegas' biggest weekends. What are our storylines? We'll start with St. Peter's. They're everyone's Cinderella. They're your dream Cinderella. 15 seed. Jersey school. We've driven past it a lot recently, and like it looks like a high school kinda. Not supposed to be shots fired, just being honest. Their coach, to take down Kentucky, that's all time. St. Peter's versus one of the blue buds of all blue bloods in Kentucky. Survive overtime against Kentucky. That's a real deal win. And then they take down the Murray State Racers in kind of a 70-60 final. What an absolute dream for them. Absolute dream for them. They go on. They'll face Purdue in the next round. Purdue looks good. They've got a lot of talent. They've got a couple bigs that are going to be brutal for St. Peter's. But, man, I know who everyone's going to be rooting for in that game. Make a couple shots going early. Make it happen. UCLA is going on to another Sweet 16. They're same team that ran it a couple last year. Johnny Juzang. A couple other guys in there that are just, they're March Madness guys. Jock, he's kind of awesome to watch. They go on to face North Carolina. North Carolina bounced Baylor. North Carolina's been hot. They ran over Duke. Remember Coach K's final game in Krzyzewskiville, and they beat them. They stunned them. North Carolina's playing a great brand of basketball. Good for Hubert Davis. I think things were getting hot there. They were not sexy for a little bit. They go to the Sweet 16 there. I love Baycott, their power forward. He's got like some Barkley light in his game. I said that a couple episodes good. Pulled it back instantly. Still kind of want to pull it back because he's not Chuck. But he's a fun watch, man. He's a fun watch. Speaking of Duke, Krzyzewski. How about it? They survived Michigan State. Really good game last night. Got to watch most of it. They are clicking right now. Their point guard is finding another gear because he has another gear. He's a good watch. I don't know, man. I was raised pretty much to not like the Duke Blue Devils. Coach K's last season, all of it. Banchero, who's their star, who's probably going to be a top 3 pick. I don't love him. I can't tell how much of it is Duke hate. He has kind of a weird game. It's very much knockoff LeBron. Like, it's not. But, I mean, he's a physical specimen. He's 6'10", 250. He can handle, he can drive. I just like some of the other studs in the tournament more. AJ Griffin got hurt by the end of it. Who's the point guard that went nuts? Jeremy Roach. He, if you like good point guard, speedy point guard play, he was putting on a display. The Dukies continue on, man. Continue on. Coach K's last year. They're going to run into Texas Tech. It's turned into a really good basketball program. Their guy, Coach Beard, coached Texas. They lost to Purdue. Texas Tech beat Bama, Notre Dame. Little football bracket over there. Texas Tech, Duke, that should be a good one. The Zags, they survived Memphis. They will face Arkansas. My UConn Huskies got beat by New Mexico State. Kid put up too many points on them and taunted them. Hated that for UConn. Good for him. Gonzaga and Arkansas. It's becoming a decent draw for the Zags. One year it has to happen, right? Maybe not. Maybe not as well. On the other side of the bracket, Arizona. They survived TCU. They will go on to play Houston. Not looking like a bad draw for Arizona at this point. Villanova, the 2 seed, they advance over Ohio State. Michigan. How about 11 seed Michigan? Juwan Howard, all that drama. Save the drama for your llama. Villanova, Arizona. If those 2 teams advance, that's a 1-2 you really like. Those are 2 really good college basketball programs. I think they're both going to be pretty heavy favorites in those games. March Madness, we will see. Kansas, Providence. Everyone was kind of down on Providence, thought they were fluky. They go to the Sweet 16. They will take on Rock, Chalk, Jayhawk. Another blue blood. Kansas, casually a 1 seed. Casually going to the Sweet 16. I don't think they strike a ton of fear in you. But they kind of do, right? They're Kansas. And by the way, if they can beat Providence, little old Providence, they're going to get the winner of 11 seed Iowa State or the 10 seed Miami. 3 seed Wisconsin and number 2 Auburn. They both go down. Kansas or Providence is going to have a really good chance to advance to the Final Four. We'll see who survives that. And that's kind of where your bracket's at. The only 1 seed to go down was Baylor, who got North Carolina as an 8 seed, who is really coming together. That's a tough break. Compare that to Kansas, who played a 9 seed Creighton. That's how the brackets go down sometimes. And March Madness still just has the juice, man. Do you watch any of the games, BBD?
I really haven't been locked in. It's not a weekend that's well timed.
Arizona to St. Louis. Yeah, I mean it's just a good product. I know that the Baylor North Carolina game had the insane comeback. Like that was incredible.
That was the one game I saw a good chunk of.
Baylor was down 25, I think. North Carolina's Brady Manick gets ejected. Baylor goes on a run. They take it to overtime. Insanity. I think it was the biggest comeback in NCAA history. And then the North Carolina still survived it in OT. Brady Manick, a little bit of a bro. We might get there in a little bit. No, man, it's just kind of incredible that you can almost turn on any game of this tournament and you're going to get a pretty good product. I mean, there was a couple first round blowouts, but not many, man. I mean, even in the second round, Providence, Richmond, that's one of the bigger blowouts. Outside of that, it's crazy that this tournament has it every year. It was fun to watch some of the games in Vegas. And yeah, I mean, we'll catch up with you later in the week a little bit as these matchups come upon us. This is March. That's kind of all the updates there. Trying to see what other sports we need to hit before we keep it moving. I think that's it for now. We'll have more baseball stuff. March Madness is the best. It looks like huge hockey news. Marc-Andre Fleury traded to the Minnesota Wild. So that's your hockey update. All right, so let's do a couple quick, what do we got? Are we live? We're back with the people?
Fake live.
Okay. Huge. Love that for us.
They can listen. We just cut out every couple minutes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm in a bad place.
Love that. Hate that. Let's see. Arizona was a blast. All the JOMBOY media people, all the ball players that came through. Kotuk remains undefeated, and that's obvious. Trying to think. Everyone that came through was cool. Matt Olson was chilling. I thought he was going to be a little more rigid. Kind of a silly guy. It turned out Matt Chapman, who I guess I thought was going to be the silly one. He knows Trev. He knows a couple people I know in the baseball world. He's a pretty low-key dude. But you could also see, and Trev mentioned this, like, dude's got a little natural leader in him. Like, his personality, kind of a chiller, but he's also like a drive guy. Like Trev said, if you weren't working, he was calling out veterans. Like he's that dude. Rooting for him big in Toronto. Go nuts. Who else do we like at the house, BBD?
I mean, everyone who came through, like legitimately. Nobody sucked.
Yeah.
Like everyone was cool.
I mean, all the dudes that came through for ping pong, a lot of young bloods, but they were awesome. Yeah, Tristan McKenzie.
He's the man.
I thought Tristan McKenzie was going to sleep over at one point.
Should have.
He was doing everything. Peter Moylan, always awesome. Jerry Blevins, always awesome. Chris Rose, king of the world. Trevor Plouffe, obviously. Paxton Elrod, new JOMBOY Media acquisition. She's going to be hosting a lot of fun stuff for us. It's like her first week of work just thrown in it. Wingnut came late. I mean, we had so many people there. All the players that came through were great. Our crew was great. Arizona spring training, pretty cool. First time there. We went to Dodgers, White Sox spring training. The Dodgers guys were awesome. I mean, we just broed out. AJ Pollock, Justin Turner, Muncy, then Trey Turner stopped by for a little. We just hung out with them.
Yeah, those three just like chatted with us for a half hour.
We were just hanging out.
Trey and Mookie both came over, said hey.
Joe's and Bruce are Adderall best friends. Yeah, said hi to Mookie, man. That was cool.
Yeah, it was like 1 second. Mookie came over. I shook my hand. I was like, because that's Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
And then I turn and Trey Turner's there.
That was Mookie Betts.
I was like, oh, and that's Trey Turner. Okay.
That was Mookie Betts, man. Really cool. I mean, excited we could do it next year. You know, baseball came back on the flight, which was a good and bad thing. Bad for planning and doing stuff. Fun because there was a lot of eyes and attention on baseball, which definitely helped us out in some ways, and all the breaking trades and all of that. So thank you guys for following. Again, there's going to be content coming out for that for a while. So enjoy all of it. Enjoy all of it. Vegas, let's see. You know, got some love from some people. My buddies were busting me for that. Good. Ended up at a pool party for a little bit. I love the Vegas pool parties. They're electric. So dude heavy. I mean, March Madness weekend is about as dude heavy as Vegas can get. Literally. But, you know, we're kind of used to that. It's kind of how we lived. Trying to think what else we did. You know, not a ton of gambling because we actually stayed at an Airbnb. We had some friends out there, went to the Vegas Knights game. We were zombies, just pure zombies. Just did laps around the stadium, just trying to not be hungover. Went to Omnia the night before that. That was pretty cool. Befriended a bachelorette for a little bit. Shout out Demetra, the dentist. D. Long Island crew. Like them. Good energy. Good energy from them. That's what it's all about. Congrats to Rob, the bachelor. He's getting married in a couple weeks. Be at that. And I think that's what's popping. New sign-off line. That's actually Jess's. I stole that. BBD, let's start to tidy up. Last step was a big one for us. Thank you, everyone that tuned in with baseball coming back. The foolish hangover effect. We were live from AZ. Tom Brady came back. Remember all that? MLB free agency was happening. There's been more quarterback stuff. Tough to keep up. We're going to have to circle back on all that at some point. Tyler Wade.
Oh, he was awesome.
Was awesome. Our guy. Russell Schumacher. So some comments of the day from that episode. Russell Schumacher in the 2033 offseason. Gio has to go in the first round of the 3 years or less Yankees draft. No. Gio was a lot of fun. Gio hurt. Gio hurt inside Yankees fans. Josh Donaldson can be very good and we can like him a lot. Gio hurt. He was one of our guys. Let's see. Michael, Baylor going to the championship again and losing to a wild underdogs is a story I can't forget already. I mean, they're not going to the championship anymore. Let's see what else we got. Bryce Newton said frogs are bald. Agree. And Chris Conkey said BBD's pick in the corner is gold. Had his old Guido pick up in the corner as we were doing a technology dance as usual. Thank you guys for leaving a comment. Make sure you share, send a like, all that. We're almost up to 5.5 subs. Can't thank you guys enough. You guys are the best. You guys are the best, especially with now baseball rolling into it. We got a little bit of juice. Should be a really fun year for Wake and Jake. Love and appreciate you guys to the umpteenth degree. BBD will do a bro of the night. I'll do a bruh quick. The bruh I mentioned back there, Brady Manick, dude. He's one of those college transfer guys. He was at Oklahoma for a few years. If you saw an Oklahoma game, he stood out. Kind of crazy red hair, power forward that shoots threes really well. He's been on Carolina this year. It'd been a disappointing Carolina season. He balled out against Duke. He's been a big part of their reason that North Carolina's been getting hot. They were up about 25, I think. He got tossed through an elbow. And, you know, can you imagine what is going through his heart as, like, I think he's a fifth-year senior. You just got ejected. Your team's blown a massive lead after you've left. Like, that could be your last game. That could be your last moment, and your team saves you. I mean, watch out for Brady Manick next game, because if I'm him, I'm using the passion of 10,000 suns to do everything I can, because I almost just blew it for myself and my team. The other side of that, the bro, is obviously Shaheen Holloway. The coach is St. Peter's. I remember him as a Seton Hall guard. By the way, Seton Hall job just opened up. Interesting. And his quotes are just dynamite. Like, go listen to his quotes. After they won the first round game, they were talking about, they were like, you know, looked like you were never nervous over there. And he said, nervous? It's just a basketball game. And it's true. It's true. But that's also, not a lot of coaches operate that way. Because it's also your livelihood. He's awesome. His quote the next game, the New York City, New Jersey guy quote was badass. You know, we're a bunch of New York, New Jersey guys. You think we're scared of anything? Like, we've been through it. He's awesome. He is, you know, March Madness every year. We kind of find out who are going to be those next coaches that we find out at their next stop, if they're going to continue being the dude, or if they kind of hit their peak. A guy you root for, go listen to his interviews. He's awesome. That's my bro, bruh. BBD?
Wow. Good bro, bruh.
Thank you.
Tom Brady, he's back. That was funny. Yeah, I mean, the whole time I feel like everyone on the internet was like, he didn't use the word retire in any of those, and maybe he just wants to take a year off, or just gonna announce he's back right at training camp or something, and get his way to San Fran, whatever the thing is. No, just 40 days later, he's back with Tampa. Make it happen.
Tom, terrific, man. That's nuts. I know we talked about that ep or two ago, but it's nuts. Why, Tom? Because he's nuts. He's insane. He's MJ. He's Tiger. And he's awesome. Okay. Beautiful. BBD, let's wrap it. Sorry for people that were tuning in live. Some of the tech stuff.
Just a disaster.
Always wrestling. You guys are the best. Talking baseball should be electric today. Content fest the next 3 weeks. Check out everything. Gaming. JOMBOY JTV. All the spring training stuff is going to be in different places. Chris Rose rotation. Lucas Giolito talking about my body. Watch everything. JOMBOY Media. Love you guys. Love you guys. Bake the algo. We'll see you back here Thursday. Let's have a big week. Let's have a big week.